Alright, what is up guys? Action Figure Addict 112 here, and we are going to be taking a look at the AEW Unrivaled Series 3, or Unrivaled Collection Series 3, Darby Allin. So this was my most wanted figure from Series 3. Orange Cassidy was the second, but I was willing to get the whole wave this time. I think when it comes to, well, after Series 4, that's when I'm going to stop going for the full waves. Um, and yeah, Darby Allin is one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW right now. Him and John Moxley are two of my favorites. I mean, Kenny's also one of my favorites too, but I really like Darby Allin's his style, man. It's just he's very I don't know which he lives very dangerously, and I like that in a wrestler. Like he's willing to put his body on the line, and being a big fan of ECW, that kind of calls out to me. And you also have the fact that he, both in his entrance and outside of the ring, he is a skateboarder. He boards, and last year I started boarding, and it's become very fun. And actually, it's because of Darby Allin that I started, or even, wanted to even try boarding. So it's pretty cool. Now he skateboards, I longboard, but I'm sure down the line I'm willing to, get an actual skateboard and start trying to learn that. But yeah, I really like it, and his entrance theme is really cool too. I really like it. So yeah. But anyway, this attire that Darby Allin is wearing here is from Fighter Fest from last year. That pay-per-view took place in Daytona Beach, Florida, and it was against Cody Rhodes in a 15-minute timed match, I think. I'm pretty sure it was in a tournament to crown the TNT. That's what it was. It was for the TNT championship. I kept thinking it was for the AEW title, but I think it was actually for the TNT championship. And they ended up extending it to 30 minutes because there was no, the time limit had reached and no one had won, so they ended up extending it another 15 minutes, I think. And Darby got real close to winning that match, but Cody ended up winning, and we're actually getting that attire for Cody in this next wave, which I really like, that black and yellow. I don't know what it is, but I really like black and yellow when it comes to certain gear. Like, I was thinking when Rey Mysterio re-signed with WWE that they were going to do his Royal Rumble attire from, I think, 2019. I think it was, or it might have been 2018. It was either 18 or 19 when he came out in that black and yellow gear. I was like, holy shit, that gear is so clean. I want a figure of that, and they have yet to do a figure of that. So maybe in the Royal Rumble series they'll eventually get to doing that attire, because man, that attire is so good. And then this Cody Rhodes in that black and yellow, it's really nice shit. But anyway, yeah, that's what this is based on, and yeah, it was a really good match. Although the first time I saw Darby Allin wrestle, it was in the Cracker Barrel Classic match from Double or Nothing, and that's when Jimmy Havoc was still signed with AEW, which had me like, oh man, if they ever do action figures, I hope we get a Jimmy Havoc. But then they ended up releasing him, so that kind of sucks. Maybe one day. But anyway, yeah, I just really like his style. So anyway, and then of course, the skull paint, come on man, like, if that doesn't call out to me, I don't know what is wrong with me if that didn't call out to me. But we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the paint. So in terms of the paint, it's really nice. In terms of the jacket, we'll talk about the jacket. In terms of the paint, it's really nice. Let me move his arm up a little bit so you can see there's some kind of light spray painting in certain areas on the jacket, and I really like that. There's the heart on the back. And it's really nice. Again, I like what they did with this jacket because it harkens back to what they did with Jon Moxley's vest, where they have that kind of misty kind of effect, like from the residue from the spray paint, and I really like that. It looks really nice. They painted the gray for the hoodie since his jacket's like it's like the hoodie jacket combo, like what AJ Styles used to wear when he was in New Japan, or when he debuted in New Japan. But what he was wearing in Impact, it was like a leather jacket, but it had the hoodie built into it. That's what he has there, so that looks really nice. They even did look at that. They even did the gold trim right there too. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice attention to detail. And then you have the gray and the black for the shorts. And they're kind of ripped up at the bottom there. Then you have the black for the kind of, I wouldn't call them leggings because they're kind of like athletic leggings for men. You know how like Nike or like Nike and Adidas, they have like those leggings that you usually wear underneath, your athletic shorts. You see it sometimes with basketball, like NBA. You see them. They're kind of like, well, they're kind of like the basically like athletic tights or something like that is what they are underneath. And then we get to his boots, and those are really nicely done too. Look at that. They even did the yellow trim for his boots. Look at that. And they even sculpted the multiple layers on the sides of the soles, and then you flip it underneath, and they did the texture on the bottom. So quality shit, man. Quality shit. And then we'll go to the face, because his face is also has paint too. So if you aren't aware, Darby Allin has half of his face painted, and sometimes he'll paint half of his body with the skeleton. The reason that he does that is because as a kid, and this is a real life story, this isn't built into his like character. He was a kid and his uncle was an alcoholic, and his uncle got into a bad drunk driving accident, and his uncle died, and I think Darby almost died in that crash too. And because of that, that was as close to death as he had ever gotten. So he has he not only paints half of his face and half of his body sometimes with the skeleton, but he also has the skull tattoo on his hand, because half of him is dead because of that, or half of him feels dead because of that. So yeah, it's really interesting. He's mentioned it on the Talk Is Jericho podcast and the AEW the AEW Restricted podcast, or Unrestricted, I guess. And then you can see they did the fade on the back of his hair. He's got his hair up there. It's painted blonde. And Andy had mentioned that this face doesn't really look like Darby. To me, it looks like Darby. So yeah, they did a really good job with that. So I really like the way that turned out. So in terms of his accessories, Darby comes with 3 accessories. He comes with this rubber jacket, which I'm going to take off right now. But before I do that, it is made of that kind of pliable plastic, or that pliable rubber. Unlike the Mattel jackets that are made of that real shitty rubber, he can actually still like move his arms in it. So you do get some posability with it. It's just not a lot. But you can take that off, and then underneath you can see they have, again, just like the import figures, they have that plastic underneath to protect any rubbing to get on the figure, so you have that. If we take that off, this is what the figure looks like underneath. Just how I'm probably going to display him, I think. And then his second accessory is this chain that he always wears, this metallic silver chain. So, or I guess this metal, chained necklace, which is painted in a nice metallic silver. And then you can actually see more of his tattoos, which is really cool. And I love the tattoo detail because he really captured it really nicely. So on his chest, he has the "Nothing is over until you're underground" tattoo, which looks really nice. So you can see right there. He has the paint kind of coming down from his, I think that's paint, or that might be a tattoo. I'm not quite, I think this is paint that's coming down right there. And then he has the tattoos on his knuckles right here, and that says drug free on it. So one says drug, one says free, and then you move back to his back and he has his tiny relentless tattoo behind his neck right there. So yeah, really cool, right? But it gets even better. It gets even better. So he comes, like I said, he comes with the jacket. He comes with the chain. But it's not Darby Allin unless he's got a skateboard. And he comes with the skateboard, which I really like. So I really like the skateboard. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, he comes with the skateboard. And it's really nicely done. As you can see, it's really accurate to a real skateboard. It's got the chunk of grip tape missing right there. As you can see, there's a chunk of wood missing there, and there's more grip tape missing around the edges, like where the trim would be. The trimming on the sides of the grip tape is chipped off too, which does happen depending on how well you take care of your board, since the skateboard, it might be either a 7-ply or a 9-ply board. It's kind of hard to tell because it's made of plastic, but I have a 9-ply board, and yeah, if you if you like fall off of it or something, or you like bang it up, the wood starts to like mash in the wood, so then it doesn't have that clean edge anymore. It just starts to kind of look mushed in. So yeah, that's really cool. I think they did they did a nice job with the grip tape. I guess it just depends on the lighting. Like right there, you can see the texturing of the grip tape. I kind of wish they would do what Tech Deck has done. I don't know if I have a Tech Deck board near me. I don't think I do, actually. That kind of sucks. Well, anyway, with the Tech Deck boards, they're made of that plastic, but they also have the grip tape to them too. Like they have like actual grip tape on it. So it feels like actual grip tape. I kind of wish they had done that, but this is acceptable. This is acceptable. Then underneath here, you can see there's like actual wood sculpted there, and then if you flip it underneath, you have the actual board right here, which has that wood detail, and there's more chipped up paint and stuff like that on the bottom. So it looks like this is an actual, like the bottom of it was actually hand painted, so that's cool. And then it has Darby Allin right there. And then if you flip it on the side, it actually has Darby Allin's little logo, which has him screaming. So that's pretty cool. And in terms of the the trucks look really nice. They actually sculpted little bolts that hold the screws into the board. And then you have the actual bolts sculpted on the bottom there to hold the trucks, or the axles, I'm sorry, to hold the axles to the trucks. And then the wheels are pretty cool too, because they actually show the axles attached to the wheels. So that's pretty cool. Because on an actual board, you have your axles, and then you have your speed washers that you would put on because when you take the wheels off the board, you have like these knobs, or these the axles that actually stick out. So then you would put your speed washers, you would put your one bearing, or you put your bearings on there, you pop the wheel on to put, or you'd put your speed washer, then your bearing, then your bolt in there. It's like a round cylinder piece. So you'd put that on there, and then you would put your other bearing on there, or you put your speed washer on there, then your other bearing, and then you'd pop the wheel on, and then you would basically get a skate tool and tighten the nut to hold the wheels on. So it's pretty nice. And something that's also really cool is, let me zoom out here real quick. Something else that's really cool is he can actually stand on the board, and it doesn't look like out of scale. It looks scaled. It looks actually scaled to the figure, which is really cool. Like, it's not too small and it's not too big. And as you can see, the board actually has some, see how it rocks? That's pretty cool, because it's like the actual axles are moving. So that's pretty cool, just like an actual skateboard. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, with that being said, we'll go ahead and we'll get into his articulation really quick. And yeah, so his head can rotate 360. He can look to the left, to the right. His head can move up this much. His head can move all the way down that much. His arms rotate 360. They can move up this much. They can move all the way down this much. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, 360 in the wrist. Has a hinge that can go side to side. Turn it, can go up and down. He has the double ball articulation, so he can crunch forward this much. He can crunch all the way back this much. He can go to the side, to the other side, and you can get all that different, the nice movement in there. His legs can move up this much. They can move back this much. So not really at all. He can definitely do the splits. Good God, that man can do the splits. He's got a thigh cut, double jointed knees. He has a boot cut, which is pretty nice. His foot can move back this much, can move forward this much, and he does have an ankle rocker, which is nice. So his articulation is really nice, but the real question is, can he do a coffin drop if he wanted to? And the question, or the answer, is actually yes, he can actually do a coffin drop. So that's pretty damn cool. So articulation again is on point with this dude. So let me go ahead, let me grab some other wrestling figures. Let's go ahead and let's do a quick comparison, and then we'll wrap this up. So let me get him standing up right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll do my little comparisons here. So we will compare him to the Mattel WWE Elite Series 82, Mr. Bask in his glory himself, Keith Lee. So he skills pretty nice. We will do the AEW Unrivaled Collection Series 2 John Moxley with the custom thread head shirt on there. we will do the Mattel WWE Elite Series 80 and the SAW Extreme Champion himself, Mr. Kevin Owens. And here he is compared to the AEW Unrivaled Collection Series 2 Pentagon Jr. right there. And then go ahead and compare him to the AEW or AEW, the WWE Elite Series 82, the Elite Series 82 Finn Balor. One of my favorite Finns. I need to reshoot that review actually because I had to delete it. And we'll go ahead and we'll compare him to the Unrivaled Collection Series 1 Cody Rhodes. Right here. So there's that. And then we'll go ahead and compare him to the AEW Unrivaled Collection Series 1 Kenny the Cleaner Omega. So there we go. That's how those two scale. And so my final thoughts on this guy, I really like him. He definitely makes me very happy to have him in my collection. Even though this damn figure and the rest of the figures from this series are so damn hard to find, I don't like that.
Hey, fuck you! Yes! Yes! Fuck you too!
At all. I don't like that. But having him in my collection finally makes me very happy. He scales really well with the rest of my figures because Darby is a pretty short dude. And he's, in terms of body build, he is pretty small. So I do like that. His accessories are really cool. The skateboard's awesome. The jacket, even though it's made of rubber, I like it because it is slightly pliable. And you do get some articulation in the arms with it. And then, the chain is really cool too. The likeness is really on point, and the articulation, like I said, is really nice. So overall, I would say if you can find this guy and you are a Darby Allin fan, I'd recommend picking him up. He's definitely worth it. The most that I would pay for him, like before shipping, is $35. That is the max that I would do for this guy. So if you can't find him in the store, if you're looking on eBay, Macari, or even in some of the Facebook groups and you're trying to find him, the most that I would pay is $35. That's it. So anyway, I'm really happy with this guy. And that's going to do it for me. So thank you very much for watching. Action Figure Addict 112 out. And expect a rant on the AEW Unrivaled Collection distribution issues very soon. Expect that real soon. All right? I'm out, guys.